Hey there, welcome back to Draco Does It. Today we're going to be disassembling a cylinder head, taking out the valve spring, retainers, the keepers, the clips, and the valve themselves. A bunch of different names for them, lockers, things like that. We're going to be disassembling a cylinder head, essentially, that came off my 95 Dodge Stealth Twin Turbo. The 3000 GT VR4 also is another one of them. This is the 6G72 engine, so they pull it out of Mitsubishi Monteros, all kinds of different engines, and they come in different flavors and varieties. So, but this is the top of the line one, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did it. I'm using a budget tool that I got off, you can get off eBay or Amazon. It's like 20 bucks, 22 bucks, and I'm on a budget build right now, so I didn't have a valve spring removal tool. There's a bunch of them out there, but this is how I'm doing it on a budget, so I'm sure there'll be some comments. So this is one way you can do it and how I'm getting it done at home in the garage. Let's get started. So here's the cylinder head we're working on today. I'll get set up on the tripod and show you what we're working with. Essentially, I have purchased this kit. A bunch of them are like Chinese made, and other, like, any of them will do. They're all kind of made the same. Some are like 50 bucks, 40 bucks, but they're just rebranding the same Chinese kits and selling them. So just kind of be careful where you order it from, but they're all pretty much generically the same. And they come with, I've taken some pieces out of there already, I've been working on it, but they come with this guy and a bunch of adapters, and it's actually really easy. You just thread in one of the poles and then one of the other ones, and you snap on. These just pop on and off. So, see? But they do have like a ball lock. So, turn this one around. They have a ball lock, so you just kind of pop this guy on, and it's pretty straightforward. So, I'm using the 25mm one right now, and got some paint coming off it or something. There you go. But it does feel pretty solid for the price and firm, and it gets the job done. I already disassembled one of the cylinder heads, and it did the job. So we're going to be taking out these guys. When you decompress them, there's some little clips in there. I'm going to point to them with my pick, and these little retainer lockers need to come out, and these are just like washers that come off the top, and then you end up with everything disassembled and taking everything out. So you have these different, you have the top one, the bottom one, and the little keepers. And so I've already disassembled one head. That's what that looks like. So now we're going to be taking the rest of these out. So I'll throw it on the tripod and explain things as I go, and I'll time-lapse things as necessary. So first thing I recommend doing too is, since this guy is going to rest against the bottom of the valve here, and when you reinstall, you don't want to damage your new valves. I recommend getting like a vacuum cap and putting that here. It's the only thing I kind of wish it had a little protection as you compress down, so this doesn't rub. And we're going to snap this guy back on. So essentially we're going to be decompressing it, pulling out our keepers, lockers, which is these guys. And then we're going to take the rest of the items out. So I'm going to put this guy back together so that I keep all the pieces together. I want to keep them in order. You can number them or whatever. I kind of keep them in order in front of me. You're also going to need probably some pliers to get the valve stem seals out. We can do that on another video, and a pick to get the washers out. So let's go ahead and set this on its side. I'm going to start with the first one here. And essentially what we're doing is putting this guy here and this guy, you need to kind of go in at this angle first and slide it over, just like that. We'll put this on its side. Make sure we're lined up right over it. I'm kind of holding it so this doesn't spin and cut into the top. So as you put pressure on it, you might have to wiggle it a little bit to get the keepers to pop free. But yeah, the keeper's spinning with the, yeah. So now I'll show you that the keepers are essentially loose now. Right in there. Let me get my pick so I can show you. So you want to take those guys out. And it's easiest with a magnet. So once you compress it enough, these will get loose and then you can pull these out. So you just go in there. There you go. Got one out. You have to check them for wear. And then we'll go, let's see, if we can get the other one. Bam. Right there. Got it. So once you get those out, you can start backing off without scraping everything next to it. You know, you might have to hold it firm. There's other tools out there, but this is what I'm doing, because this is what I got. Another little tip, it's tools are kind of cheap, so I also like taped the handle. I'm going to use some better tape, but I just taped it so it would stop sliding around in and out. But I mean, if you're patient, it gets the job done. So there's the top and the keepers. So put those there. Then we can push the valve out and take it out of the guide. And then for this particular car, there's a little retainer on the bottom. In other cars you'll see these too. So I just pop it free very carefully with my pick without scratching anything. I'm going to pull it out with the magnet. Just kind of lift it. And then I put it back together and kind of put the valve together so I can keep everything in order, and the keepers with it, keeper lockers. And then we're going to do the same thing for all of it. This is why we're taking apart the head in the first place. Looks like a crooked mushroom. See if I can get the focus. So you can see it is bent. It is really bent. So now I kind of want to show you what to do to get the valve seals out if you don't have a specialty tool. So that's these guys right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. But yeah, that's these guys right here. These are little caps that come off onto the valve guides, and you can pull these off with pliers if needed. It's not like the best way, but if you don't have the specialty expensive tool or etc., the trick is to get some of these, and without jabbing any of the metal in there, which is kind of difficult, you got to do like a wiggle technique, and you think it won't come off, but if you wiggle enough, they come right out. So it doesn't take too much, and they're kind of like glued in, these ones. Some of the aftermarket ones are a bit different, but you can get them out just by wiggling. Okay, so that tool works pretty good, especially for 20 bucks. And there's a couple little things with it, with the handle, or you know, just kind of putting some protection on one of the rods there that's pushing against your new valves. But otherwise, it works fine. You just gotta, it's manual. You gotta use your hands. They have some pin tools where you can smack it with a rubber hammer, and it's a valve keeper, valve locker keeper like tool. But this one works pretty good for what I need it, especially with the space restrictions. You just gotta be patient, take your time, and get through it. So that's how I removed and disassembled my heads. Now they're ready for cleaning. So we're gonna hot tank them all here at home and clean it out and get all this carbon off of it. So thank you for watching Draco Does It. I'll see you on the next project.